guys, it's Zeke with Talking Lead, and
left hand.
That's perfect. That works perfect.
Is that organic enough?
That's as organic as you can get. We're here with Mike from Next Level Training, and you might recognize Mike. He was on Top Shot which season?
Season 3.
Oh, you were on there with Dustin.
Yes. Yeah, we battled out there.
Gotcha. Yeah, we got to meet Dustin a few weeks ago. All right. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, you know, I got into shooting just because as a sport more than anything else. It's a great venue. A lot of people can jump into competitive shooting, and it transfers right into defensive and other lanes. But I just found out there wasn't a high-volume self-diagnostic training tool out there, so we made the assert training pistol. You know, there's a shot indication where it turns green like every time you shoot it. There's also a trigger prep indicator. You prep the trigger, prep it, it's red. When you break it, it's green. So it basically, you know, you can hit mag changes, hit your draws, reloads, you know, awkward shooting, strong hand only, work on your trigger control, probably the granddaddy of fundamentals that we all have to master, and do it in high volume, do it safely, do it in 5-minute increments throughout the day.
Awesome. And y'all got stuff for ARs too, right?
We do. We got the assert AR bolt. This is really premise. It's built from the ground up, the assert, so it's just convenient and easy. Now the bolt is actually different. It is a retrofit to your AR-15, okay? So imagine you take your AR-15, you pop out the bolt, you pop in our assert bolt, and here's what you get. So you get a resetting trigger, so it resets, all right? There's like, you know, click, 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 and you get shot indication. Your safety, you know, still works. So here's my big thing. A lot of ARs get sold out there. How many people are really manipulating and training? They're training your offset, right? From your sights to your barrel to work that close distance. You know, training to work in your safety on and off, you know, or getting a retrofit one that works more effectively, like an ambidextrous, right? Make sure your stuff works. Work your slingshot, work strong shoulder, work weak shoulder. You know, clear your house with your AR. You know, you can do it safely. You can work in high volume, and it makes your AR a lot more fun to train and play with.
Can you talk a little more about how the system internally works on the AR?
Absolutely. Now the initial install is a bugger. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? That's where we're gonna manage expectations. That you gotta spend some time to initially install and calibrate it. But what we have going on here is you take out your bolt, your charge handle, throw in our bolt, and you have a little pin which sits on here. So when the hammer jacks back, you get this movement on this pin. All right, and that's where the magic is. So you get a resetting trigger. You don't have to rack the bolt each time, you know, to break around. And closes up, and away you go. You're rolling. So, yeah, in 20 seconds, once you get an initial install done, yeah, you can turn this into a dry fire tool. Have a lot of fun with your AR-15.
Talk about just practical applications for this.
Well, you know, as far as practical application, there's a few different lanes we find people like to train. One is this performance training, this is more gun handling. You know, work on your deficiencies. Are you slapping the trigger? You know, like laser sweep. You can tell like someone's slapping the trigger. You can diagnose yourself. Work more point shooting. Because you can't point shoot with your live fire gun because, by definition, you're not looking at the sight shooting. Work defensive tactics, do a safety check, proper safety protocol, make sure no one has a loaded weapon, and then work it. So when we're in this close distance and we're doing a scenario, we can really try to work our draw and such. Yeah, absolutely. Not worry about harming someone and really make our skills more applicable. So like I can really work. You know, if I snag, okay, I snag like I did, it's very organic. Well, fine, I can still shoot. You know, and then whatever I got to do. You know?
I like how he's using you as an example, and I get to stand here.
Yeah, you're gonna stand up. So we're a big guy. You know, I'll be wearing, I'll be knocking my teeth out. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you came about this system.
Well, it was born right out of need because I shoot USPSA amongst other competitions. That's what I really love, and I want to be national champion in production. It's my goal. I'm 40 years old, and it's boom, you know, it's just cranking. And I need a high volume training tool because anything we do well, you got to train in high volume. You got to have accountability for what you're doing as well. Like if you shoot hoop against a brick wall without a hoop, you know, you're not going to get the feedback. Yeah, so that doesn't do much. You got to have a hoop. Same thing with pistol craft. If we just dry fire it, it didn't really meet threshold. You know, I tried airsoft and some other tools, but it wasn't sustainable. I mean, I ran out of green gas, or did it up the walls, and irritated my wife, that kind of thing. I like airsoft, but it didn't work for me, so I need a resetting trigger. so I needed a shot indication. Of course, the bonus is a trigger prep indicator. So when you get the red or get the green, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of training involved for instant feedback, you know. And I was initially concerned, will I go too target focused? And you know, there's a big debate in the industry now, more front side or target focused. And the reality is it's blended. Because if it's a 25-yard hard shot, guess what? I have a lot of sights. I have a lot of trigger control. And if I didn't use sights and I was target focused, boom, I'd miss. So the laser comes on after the fact, the green laser. That makes sense. The green laser comes on after the fact. So you know right away if you did what you needed to do to make that shot. So the paradigm shift a little bit is, you know, guys like Pete Gould and stuff really pioneer this, is get more repetitions in. You know, use dead time more effectively. You know, it's more remove the bookends of setup and break time. You know, I mean, 5 minutes a day, distributed learning.
As Brad Pitt said in Glorious Bastards, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, 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 right?
Yeah. It's what it's about.
That's what you're talking about.
It's
with the repetition.
And to crack the code on that, it's like we can always say, let's get in better shape, let's quit eating donuts and stuff. But
No.
I'm
not.
Yeah. Well, it's how do we crack the code on making that practice facilitated. See what I mean? And if it's like, if we have to drive to the range and do all that, we still need our live fire training, of course. But for a lot of our manipulation drills, I can sit here, work concealed carry draws. It complements.
Exactly.
It complements live fire. It is not intended to replace it. So when I go to the range, I work on recoil management, I work on malfunction drills, and I work on slide lock stimulus. So when I feel slide lock, and when I feel that sensation of slide lock, you know, boom, then I like to work into the reloads. Makes sense? And then all of my high volume training comes into play then, because I just did it 10,000 times at home.
I'm sold. I'm buying one today.
Yeah.
Now, about your Top Shot experience.
Oh yeah.
Who was the toughest competitor you faced?
You know, it's really tough to say. I mean, the toughest competitor I think you face on that is like probably the challenge committee and everyone internal, like in the all the people behind the scenes. It's a great show. A lot of people ask, is it real? And it's 100% real as far as the drama, as far as the things that happen and occur, without question. It's just that, you know, I mean, as you imagine any competition, you know, things break, whatever. You know, it's just because when you're in a regular competition, you control your own gear and kit, right? And you're strictly liable. We don't. It's just not, it obviously can't be like that there. So that's always, I think, an ever-going challenge. But it's a good show. It promotes firearms in a positive light.
Gotcha. Was there a cool setup that they did once that was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it was cool, like shooting a cannon, for example. I mean, like, you know, and Jared and I love Jared Grimes. He volunteered for that. It's like, look, let's just battle it out, man. Let's not be wusses, and, you know, let's do it. If we get thrown off, we get thrown off. You know, one of us has got to, you know, whatever. And then probably the zip line. We were in the zip line was cool because it was a Steyr SPP, kind of a unique pistol with a nice 12-pound 4-stage trigger stock. but it was great because it really, in fact, Pilgrim Films did a great job on that after the shot. If you look at search it online, some analysis which I put forth on, you know, snapping your eyes, you know, prepping the trigger, final sight confirmation, sending, follow through, you know, snapping your eyes, you know, all the fundamentals. And that was a good course because it taxed some very practical fundamentals of just basic marksmanship.
So once again, Zeke, left hand here from Talking Lead, and make sure you check out Mike and Next Level Training at nextleveltraining.com. And as always, keep your loved ones close.
Keep your firearms closer.